Welcome to episode 63 of The Leap Home, Unchained.
In this week's episode, Sam has to help an innocent man escape a chain gang. After an initial bid for freedom is thwarted, Sam and his fellow convict Boone are faced with a series of degrading punishments by the man in charge of their group. When Al informs Sam that Boone did not commit to the crimes he's been convicted of, Sam begins to work on proving his friend's innocence. But will justice be delivered timelessly, or will the men have to take matters into their own hands more directly?
Boy, if I'd have known I'd had to do this much running, I would have worn my cross-training shoes.
Good morning, Ian. How are things?
Not too bad, Gerry. How are you?
I'm okay. Wearing my CrossFit trainers.
Are you?
No, I'm not actually. I don't do CrossFit.
Not
Although, in fact, I do have CrossFit trainers. I've got the Metcon Nike I sometimes use, but not for CrossFit.
Just for show?
Just for general gym work.
Not known as Shoeless Gerry for nothing?
No.
Or at all?
No one's ever called me that.
No. Well, they have now.
Let's crack on. No. This was an episode which I remembered from back in the day. Not many of the season 4 and season 5 ones I can claim that to be the case.
I thought that the music and the setting were really good. It felt like it was the 50s.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That sort of blues, sort of slide guitar, I'm not sure, on the Delta or wherever. I'm just saying words now, I'm not sure if that's what it was at all. But
Well, he wasn't far from the southern states anyway, just over the hill.
Right, okay. Enjoy it?
I did, very much.
Good. Very much, or?
Very much, I did. I thought it was one of my favourite ones of this season. Before we get going, let's go through the social stuff. We're at Leap Home Podcast on the usual social networks, including Facebook and Twitter. There's show notes available on our website, theleaphome.com. And if you want to hear every episode 1 week early, head to our YouTube channel, Columbo Podcast Productions, where you'll find it. Please rate, review, subscribe, and set alerts there if you want.
Are we still on Snapchat?
No.
Massive dong.
Don't even think anyone's on that anymore.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay, let's crack on.
I think the opening was the same as what we saw at the end of last week's episode, pretty much exactly.
Yeah, Sam arrives in the back of a truck on a dusty rural road, dressed in prison gear, surrounded by other convicts.
Yeah, and the man that he is chained to takes a nod from one of the other convicts before jumping off the back of the truck with Sam in tow.
And when he lands, his companion anxiously asks, "Which way?" To which Sam responds with an "oh boy."
Yes, there's an expectation that he's in charge here. After the credits, we find ourselves in some bushes on the 2nd day of November in 1956.
I would say woods rather than bushes.
Well, initially they're in the bushes at the side of the road.
That is true. His fellow escapee is a Jasper Boone. He's quite angry that Sam seems to have lied and told him that he grew up in this area and knows where they're going, because obviously Sam has no idea what to do.
Yeah, perhaps the guy he leapt into did know, but whether that's the case or not, we never really find out.
In any case, they've got to keep moving as they hear dogs, search dogs, barking. Although Sam suggests they just give themselves up. I mean, what sort of thing is that? He's no idea what's happening here. Giving yourself up is not...
Well, it's Sam's conservative instinct. The course of justice will run true.
Oh, yeah, we hear this attitude a little bit later as well. Or one particular...
Yeah. Boone's not having it, though. He's got another idea.
Yeah, he sees a skunk.
Yeah, and he thinks he can throw the dogs off their scent, quite literally, by getting themselves sprayed. So he charges the skunk, which lifts its tail and expels the noxious gases it's known for.
They then find a hiding place under a little bridge like a couple of trolls.
This isn't ideal for Boone, though.
I don't really buy this. Yeah, he is apparently claustrophobic, but this is a tiny, narrow bridge with no enclosure on either side. I get that maybe, people are more claustrophobic than others, but it doesn't seem like this would,
Yeah, well, he starts to panic, but Sam does eventually squeeze him into this pipe under the bridge.
It's just
not a pipe.
No,
it looks like a big pipe. Just under the bridge.
I think it's just under the bridge, yeah.
Eventually they get him in there, but are not spotted as the dogs and the patrol come past.
Yeah, they're really bad at searching. They're right above it. I mean, the first thing you would do would be look under this bridge. Well,
he might be worried about trolls.
Yeah. And maybe it was just me, but one of the dogs is called the N-word. I am sure I had to rewind it or replay it, but I'm sure I think it's Cooley. He refers to the dog as the N-word.
Are you sure it's not triggered or?
Nope, I'm not sure, but
Digger.
I think. Of course, that was famously a name of the dog in, what you call it, the Battle of Britain.
Okay. Well, I suppose it would fit with the time period. I didn't hear it myself. I can't comment, really.
Anyway, after this, they wade through the swamp and then take a short rest beside a tree where Boone conveniently takes a power nap, allowing Sam to speak with Al.
Gee, Sam, it kind of looks like you're dressed up for hard times.
This is the latest thing in prison escapes.
Yeah, well, it's more like a chain gang.
Thank you, Dr. Watson.
Nothing to it. You're in 1956, November 2nd. Your name is Chance Terrence Cole, and you're a local small-time pet. Petty thief. You're a local petty thief. And you pass some bad checks. You're doing 9 months in Talawagah. What? Talawagah County Prison Road Gang, whatever it is.
And I'm really innocent, right? And I'm here to prove that this guy is not guilty, right?
No, not exactly. Ziggy Reno, he checked the police files and you've got a rap sheet.
What about him?
Jasper Boone is his name. He's doing 15 big ones for armed robbery and attempted murder in a town called Langston. And he hit a jewelry store not long ago.
Wonderful.
All right, Ziggy's still working on this and trying to find out why you're here, so I'll go check with him. As soon as I hear something, I'll come right away and let you know.
Thanks, Al.
You know, it's funny.
What?
I wasn't a hologram. I could swear I could smell a skunk.
The only other chance that I'm aware of or have heard of was Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in Hard Target.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which got a similar theme as well. It's in the same sort of area and they're also being hunted. That's what the movie's about. Anyhow.
Have you ever had that problem that Al's got?
What's that?
Smelling skunk?
Oh, I've smelled skunk plenty of times, yeah. Partaken back in the day. Anyhow.
Yeah, that joke that Al did's never funny. They've done it multiple times now. Where he stops reading at the end of as if it's the full word. Mm-hmm. I think that's maybe just keeping themselves amused. I like to think that the bit where Al couldn't pronounce the name of the town wasn't in the script. And they've just improvised that because he literally couldn't say it.
Quite possibly, yeah. Hazardous. They continue on foot, and as they do, Boone mentions that, well, he gives some background to himself. His father was black, his mother was Native American, but they both died in an accident when he was small, and he went on to live with his grandmother.
Yeah, the kerosene heater blew up.
I thought this background was going to be more pivotal, but it doesn't really...
No, it's just a bit of exposition.
Yeah, fair enough.
The two of them get rinsed off in the water, get rid of that skunky smell, and we see Boone do a bit of fishing.
What's that called? Guddling or...
Yeah, it could be guddling.
I think there's a name to it.
I think it's a catfish that he catches.
It is, yeah. However, they both agree they're not hungry, so he gives it a little peck in the cheek and puts it back in.
I'm sure it enjoyed that. Boone talks about being chained up and having his hope and spirits taken away, but here comes conservative Sam.
This is shocking, isn't it? He's quite snide. He says that, well, that's what happens if you break the law.
Yeah, we deserve it.
Do the crime, do the time. Shut up, Sam. You have no idea what's going on here.
Boone insists, however, at this point, and this is a game changer for Sam, that he never broke the law. He physically hauls Sam up and explains that he went to a jewellery store. He was, I think, claustrophobic on a bus. And this robbery happened while he was there. And somebody in the store accused him of being the perpetrator.
Doesn't really make sense.
No. It does when you find out what happened.
No, but if you're in the store, how would you would know that wasn't you?
I imagine there's a good chance it might be Cooley or someone connected with Cooley that's accusing him knowing who the perpetrator is.
I've got issues with the whole, the robbery the setup of this. It doesn't ring true. Anyhow, we'll get to that. Boone is obviously distressed by what's been happening, but he's happy that he's outside where he belongs, and he says he's either going to have to escape or die. Yeah.
Just then a car goes past and they duck down. I think that's a car that we see again later on.
So they follow this up to the barn of a farmhouse.
Meanwhile, we get kind of a view of this police or wardens patrol with the dogs at the top of a bank.
Inside the barn, they manage to break free from the chains that are binding them together, And Boone
It's a
is...
convenient anvil, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Just what we needed, an axe and an anvil.
And Boone, he's very excited about the prospect of heading to Louisiana. But there's a problem.
Well, Al's here at this point, and he tells Sam that he should let Boone go to Louisiana because there's a 98% chance that he's innocent. However, somebody else is still committing similar crimes.
Not just that, but Boone, according to this timeline, is going to die in the next 5 minutes if he decides to make a run from the barn.
The patrol's just going to shoot him down.
Now, of course, this is what Boone wants to do. He sees the guards approaching. He wants to flee.
Well, he says he doesn't want to wait there to die.
Yeah, as Al confirms that the real robber was never caught and is told by Sam to go and find out who the real robber was before Al mentions that there'll be another robbery that very evening.
How's he going to find out if they were never caught?
That's a good point. Yeah.
What records are there going to be of crimes unsolved crime, but this guy done it?
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's Al that suggests that they hide out or go back.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I think that would be very dangerous because it's unlikely they're going to peacefully take them into custody.
No, at this stage, you have to assume that there'll be, at the very minimum, a severe beating.
Or shot on sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boone remains anxious, but Sam has an idea.
What's that?
He sends Al to chase off the dogs that are hunting them.
That's a decent idea, yeah.
Yep. And it works. We see it.
Yeah, he managed to do this, and Sam tries to persuade Boone to wait in the barn for a while, as he's got a bad feeling, but obviously Boone is not interested in hanging around.
No, they head out the back door and they see this blue truck.
At this point, Al reappears, as we heard at the top of the podcast, and is confused to hear Boone reminds Sam that he said he couldn't face spending another year in prison. Al checks his notes, and he sees that Sam got a 9-month sentence, but realises that was years ago, and Sam has now been in there for 2 years.
Yeah, so something's up. Shenanigans.
Without a doubt. Boone is at this point hyperventilating, and when he sees the head warden, that's Cooley, I think, he's jogging up the road towards the barn. He decides to make a move via the back door, and after a bit of a scuffle, he has to be stopped by a karate kick to the face from Sam.
Al encourages Sam to knock Boone out and stuff him in the boot of the truck.
If this doesn't work, you're...
Well, he swings with a club and misses him, which...
That's like attempted murder.
Yeah, and Boone is obviously at this point now going to think this guy's out to hurt me.
Of course.
Yeah, and as you say, Sam produces some kind of ninja move and takes him down with a kick to the head and then bundles him in the trunk or the boot of the truck before joining him.
Well, he's got to hide as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I thought they might just drive off. But he doesn't. He gets in there. But
they're easily found, obviously, because let's check this car.
Yeah, very obvious place to check. And also, as soon as Boone wakes up, he freaks out and starts trying to burst out of the car.
However, Al is happy enough, I think Sam is as well, because he's not been shot on sight.
Yes, they are taken into custody and rechained.
So Al goes away to try and find the identity of the real robber, but as you said, I'm not sure how much success he would have with that. We're back at the prison. They have been chained up, and now Sam is faced with the, I think, quite sinister Captain Elias.
I'm real disappointed in you, Cole. I expected you to set an example for the youngins. Like Boone here.
Guess I got a little carried away.
Take care of it.
Yes, sir.
Them the boys that run off?
Well, you could say they took an unplanned vacation.
Well, I guess they're back in school now. See you tomorrow, Cool.
See you around, Jake.
I swear, I won't run again, boss. I swear on my mama's grave.
Cole, you been here the longest. You get to call it. Call it.
Tails.
Tails it is.
No!
Sorry, Boone.
No! I swear I won't run again. Just don't throw me in there.
Hey!
No!
I ain't doing nothing to you, Booney boy. Fun here's the one who called it. If anybody's to blame, he is.
Cole, don't do this to me, Cole. Please, Mr. Cooley, sir. I'll do the cockfights. Anything.
Go!
You can't put him in there. He's got claustrophobia. You can't.
Watch your hands, boy.
Go!
Get in there instead. Come on. Please.
Sorry, but I got something else in mind for you, boy.
I've got some questions about Boone's characterisation here.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
So, it seems that he's suddenly changed his entire personality as soon as he got rearrested.
We see this a few times, especially at the end. I'm not sure, is Boone meant to have some sort of learning difficulty? He seems...
It's quite prominent a few times in the episode, and then other times you're not 100% sure.
Yeah. And also, whilst this episode is not one of the racism episodes, it's borderline, because I think in that clip, Sam calls heads or whatever it is, and he actually loses, but they want to throw Boone into the pit.
Yeah.
Now, that may well be because of his race, or it might just be that they like to torment someone they know that will upset.
Yeah.
And again, we can maybe talk about it a little bit later, but I'm never 100% sure if Elias is really that sort of bad and evil. You get, this is the first scene and you think, oh, he must be a really sinister and nasty character, but other than general harshness, I'm not sure if he is.
I think he's more, and we'll come to the question, I think he's more the kind of guy who doesn't want to ask, so he doesn't get told what's going on.
Yeah. I think his behaviour would be typical of law enforcement or prison wardens of the time.
Yeah.
In this country as well, the prisoners would have been considered scum and not have the same sort of rights as you would expect in the outside.
Sure.
Certainly human rights. So, yeah. Anyway.
It's now night time.
And we see what Sam's punishment is. I think it's just moving barrels from one place to another.
And then back again.
Yeah.
He feels bad about Boone being in the pit, but only when he hears him wailing. The rest of the time he's quite fine.
Yeah. He does note that for Boone this is a real sort of living hell.
Yeah.
And Al apparently is his only hope, but Al is quite, I've seen a few times, he's quite ineffectual. One of these episodes where it's like he's got nothing, nope, can't help.
Yeah. Cooley comes up to Sam and quotes Emily Dickinson's "For each ecstatic instant."
Does that ring true that firstly that character would know that, and then also Sam deciding to show off that he does know what he's referring to?
Yeah. So obviously the inference is that he's had the joy of the escape, and this is your counterbalance.
Yeah. He also does say that if he tries it again, he's going to have to kill him.
Yeah.
He embarrassed him.
Cooley always talks in measured tones, but he says nasty things. So, yeah, he says he made him look bad today, and if he does it again, they'll be killed.
But Sam responds by saying that Boone is being killed anyway, which Cooley doesn't appreciate and is told to move the barrels back to where they came from.
At this point, Al shows up after Cooley leaves and tells Sam, he's kind of strangely nonchalant here. It's not like, oh, here's some important information. It's just, the real criminal, and I don't know again how he figured this out. It's a guy called Jake Wiles who blacks up to commit his crimes.
I don't accept or get this at all. If you accept that maybe the locals were racist themselves and were happy to pin it on Boone, you don't need the whole blackface nonsense. You just say I was a black guy.
It's maybe just a facade though.
I don't get, there's absolutely zero way that this guy, we're not talking about Hollywood levels of, even in Hollywood movies, we've seen this before, where a white person tries to become black or vice versa, and there's some uncanny valley stuff. It doesn't look good.
Not to mention that he's a local person who everyone would know.
There is absolutely no way with a little bit of boot polish in his face anyone's thinking that Jake's actually black. And also that stuff, it's the very next day. If you put that on your face, that would stain. You're not washing that off easily. So I don't.
Questions.
This is a nonsense. He blacks up and people think that it is a
and where's Al getting that information from as well?
Who knows? But yeah. So yeah, Jake's a delivery driver for his family store.
That's whose truck they were hiding in earlier on. And Sam recognises the name. I think he said.
Well, it was in the clip, yeah. Jake was chatting. He was there when they arrived back after being found.
We see Sam, for whatever reason, having been told this by Al, decide that he has to inform Boone.
Immediately.
Yeah, while he's in this pit. Now, Boone must have incredibly strong fingers.
Yeah, he's not pleased and he grabs Sam through the grill and starts to choke him out.
You'd think Sam would be able just to stand up or roll away from this quite easily.
Pull his hands a bit, yeah.
Anyhow, Boone demands to know how Sam's got this information. And no, not so much how he's got it, but how it helps him. What they're meant to do with this.
I think Sam says they'll tell the police, and if they don't believe them, Sam will help him escape.
And this is a mistake.
I mean, what do you think in that situation? The chances of the cops who's going, oh yeah, it was someone else. Yeah, no worries. It's Jake. Well,
and besides that, Cooley's standing right behind him and hears what he says.
yeah. One of the henchmen hit Sam and throw him into the pit along with Boone, much to Al's disgust. With Sam, you're an idiot. You get what mouthing off here when he's in the pit with this isn't the right. It's a time and place situation. This or scenario.
Having created this distressing situation, they go for a bit of comedy at the start of the next scene as Al hovers like a genie next to the pit entrance in the morning.
Yes. Coincidentally, just as Jake arrives with a new delivery, and Boone can't constrain himself this time. He goes full Terminator by smashing through the truck window and again using his crazy Terminator strength to try and strangle Jake.
Yeah.
Sam tries to pull him away, and he is eventually stopped by a rifle butt to the stomach as Elias walks over to assess the situation.
That's right. And Boone demands that Wiles or Jake confesses to this crime.
This is the thing as well. This is sort of this is when you think, is he 100% correct in the head? Because he's far too optimistic. It's like, oh, go on, Jake, tell me you did this crime. So what do you think Jake's going to do? Are you a kid? Are you thick here?
He did remind me a bit of the guy from the Green Mile.
He reminded me how they've played him sometimes off, what you call it, Mice and Men, Lenny and George, and it's all very
tiptoeing along being potentially a trope here, and not a savoury trope.
No, Alpha. I always remember that. I read this at school as a kid, and I went, Alpha. We don't have Alpha here.
I don't know what you're
talking
about.
Sprout or some sort of seed or whatever it is. They grow it, Alpha. I think it's probably called something different. I don't know. But I always remember thinking, what the hell are they talking about? Didn't have the internet, so couldn't look it up.
No, there's no way to know. You'll never find out.
I think I looked it up since. Can't remember. Anyway.
Elias doesn't immediately dismiss this allegation.
Oh, what does he do?
He asks Boone whether he has any proof. Once, obviously, Jake's denied they've committing the crimes.
Yeah. Of course, they've got nothing.
No, it happens in so many episodes. Sam just demonstrates knowledge that he couldn't possibly have.
Yeah.
However, Sam decides it's a good opportunity here to chip in with more knowledge that he's gained from Al.
Well, I think he says that he should ask the sheriff from the town where the robbery took place.
Well, he says that, first of all, there was going to be a robbery last night. He'd heard that was going to happen,
right.
That Wiles was going to commit it, and Elias wants to know how. And as you say, he says, call the sheriff, which Elias takes his cheek.
And gives him a punch in the face for this sass. He then tells Cooley to have them both on the road crew as he wants the pipework that they're working on finished by the weekend.
This is very kind of like Shawshank, where they had the guys at the prison working on the various jobs. Mm-hmm. So there's obviously some benefit to the community from these felons doing this at low cost.
Well, we get this. I mean, that's what community service is here.
Yeah, but that's run by the state. I think in this, there's got to be, same with Shawshank, there's money exchanging hands somewhere along the line. Anyhow, Al tells Sam he's working on scenarios, which I don't think Sam is very impressed about.
No, he gives a bit of a sort of Clint Eastwood, a mean-looking and unimpressed stare, and retorts that he needs to find a way to escape, and if he's going to be running scenarios, it should be to help him with that.
Yeah.
This has been done in full view, this conversation,
okay,
of everyone else, and although the content wasn't overheard, he is still manhandled off by a guard who noticed the chatter.
And we do then go to this sort of pipeline where they're working, and I think one of them's got a pickaxe and one's got a shovel, and Cooley taunts Boone as he digs, saying he'll be staying a lot longer than his 15 years, much like Sam has stayed a lot longer than his 9 months, and he says that nobody knows and nobody cares what's happening out here.
Well, yeah, no, what happens is he says he's got 20 years left, or he's got to do 20 years, and Sam pipes up that he's only got 15, or he only got a 15-year sentence, which Cooley doesn't appreciate, and he says that, well, you know, his 15 years is just like your 9 months. It's that's what you got, but that's not what you're getting.
Yeah.
Sam calls him a bastard, and Cooley suggests that another year might teach him some manners. So it's obvious that there's corruption here, or certainly they're abusing their position of authority. Because
at the very least, they've got this unpaid workforce, and beyond that, it's just abusive towards the individuals.
Yeah, I think he says that there's no one on the outside who can, or who knows or cares what sentence you've got, how long you're meant to be here for. We'll add another year on if we feel like it.
No one's coming to check. You've not got any lawyers.
Yeah.
A bit later on, Boone has cottoned on to something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I enjoyed this in the episode. So he mentions that he heard Sam talking to someone who wasn't there. And perhaps out of desperation, he doesn't think it's ridiculous as long as he can help him get out.
Yeah, so whether he's just assuming that Sam's a little bit crazy and he's going to go along with that, or whether he genuinely believes that Al is an invisible person who talks to Sam, it's not clear.
Sam initially tries to cover it by saying I was talking to myself, but Boone says, no, that's not how you talk to yourself.
That should be what happens in every episode when he says, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that, again, this is the thing, is Boone mentally impaired in some way to believe or accept this or think this?
Not impaired enough to see Al, as we saw in Shock Theatre, when the people who were severely mentally unwell were able to see him.
Okay.
Sam at this point explains that...
Oh, sorry, that's a point as well. So we know that kids can see, but is it a physical age or a mental age? So if there was someone who had a mental capacity of an 8-year-old, would they be able to see?
The implication in Shock Theatre is that people who are,
Okay.
But then obviously Boone is beyond whatever point that must be. We don't get enough information about him.
No.
But anyway, Sam explains that only he and sometimes animals and little kids can see Al, at which point Boone starts imagining what his life will be like as a free man.
I think he says that Al and Sam can come and visit him when he's in his, the mountains with the red trees, etc. Before Cooley snidely, sarcastically asks them if they're in love.
Boone says that he'll kill Cooley if he tries to put him back in that hole, as he can't take it.
So back at the prison that evening, they are unshackled and Al arrives with no more news.
What? Just go away then.
Boone hears Sam talk to him and asks if this is Al, who is himself confused that Boone knows about him.
Yeah, Al, though, agrees to come and visit Boone once he's free and living somewhere else.
However, Al wants to concentrate on Ziggy's one idea.
It's a terrible idea.
What's this?
Well, first of all, it wouldn't work, even if they did do it, but his idea is for Sam to predict Jake's next robbery to give himself some gravitas or credibility.
Yeah, he says maybe Elias would believe that. I'm not sure he would. Sam, for some reason, thinks this is a good idea. I suppose he's on the assumption that Al knows when this robbery will be. To be fair, if Al can say there'll be a robbery tonight, this store, this street, at this time, and Sam gave this information to Elias,
but all that's going to do is make it look like Sam's involved.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it look like he knows something and he's innocent.
Yeah, because he's been there for 2 years. It's not as if he could just have heard on the grapevine.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, it's not tonight.
When is it?
8 months.
That's it. So why is he saying this then? Why would this be an idea, a suggestion by Al?
I think it's just a sign that Ziggy has nothing this week.
Okay. However, that night, in a deserted part of the road, we see Jake have a clandestine meeting with an associate, which puts further doubt on Sam being able to rely on the justice system.
Couldn't this wait till morning? Annabelle thinks I'm sneaking out with some gal leaving the house this time of night.
How'd that boy in Boone find out about that jewelry store? What about last night in Kerrville?
Hell, I don't know. I had so much of that black crap on my face that day in Langston, I didn't recognize me. Ain't no way Boone could have.
What about last night? Now, you talked to somebody, didn't you, boy?
No, I ain't told nobody nothing, Cooley. That'd be real stupid.
Yeah, that would. If that boy knows about you, then he just might know about me.
I swear, Cooley, I ain't told nobody nothing.
You get rid of that stuff from Kerrville?
Most of it. I still got a couple of rings and earrings left. $4,000 is the best they give me for it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking maybe we better back off a little, so things kind of settle down.
That's a good idea, Cooley. I've been meaning to talk to you about backing off, just for a little while.
I'm not sure these two are on the same page about what backing off means.
No, and we'll find that out later on. So it's the morning. Elias tells Cooley to take the prisoners to dig out a stuck truck as a favour, but he is not happy as they are behind on the pipework.
That's not why he's not happy.
He doesn't want to go to, because the stuck truck is out beside where he met Jake last night.
Indeed, and perhaps there's some evidence there. Let's find out. We head over to this peanut oil truck, and the convicts are working to try and release it as Al makes another stupid recommendation.
What's that?
He tells Sam to bribe someone to get his info out, but he doesn't have anything to bribe anybody with.
It's just, Al, what are you doing? You're phoning this in.
Desperation.
At this point, one of the guards finds what?
The body of Wiles.
Yeah, covered by some branches. That's a massive coincidence, isn't it, that they were sent to that? So does that mean that someone else knew? Is Elias behind this and wanted him found? Is Elias trying to bump off everyone or take them all out of action?
No, I think what's most likely is that bit of the road is a common place to stop, and the truck is stopped and then not being able to get going again. And also that's why it's a convenient place for them to meet.
Oh, wait a second, so it was Jake's truck? No?
No, it's a different truck.
Right.
I think he'll have moved Jake's truck.
Why would you move it? His body's there. I mean,
Oh.
no, you wouldn't move Jake. No, because he'd have driven out himself.
Yeah, it's a peanut oil truck.
No, peanut oil in it, but he's a delivery man, so maybe...
But then who's driving the truck? It can't be Jake's truck.
No, it can't
They would be mentioned.
Yeah, okay.
Anyhow, Boone is very upset when he realises what's happened.
Yeah, he attacks Cooley. Why?
Well, because finding out that Jake was committing the crimes was his route to freedom.
Yeah, but why attack Cooley? Why would he think he didn't do this?
I think he just assumes.
Really? That's not a massive assumption to think that Cooley's behind
Or maybe
it.
he's just angry and lashes out at the authority
Yeah,
figure.
it's a strange thing to do then.
Yeah. He's told he's going back in the pit, but he refuses and chooses a cockfight with Cole.
Oh, well. When was the last time you did a cockfight?
A couple of impalings along the way.
Yeah, when you were younger, experimenting.
Mm-hmm. Al unfortunately informs Sam of the terms of this encounter.
What's that?
To the death.
Ah. I would not like a cockfight that resulted in death.
No.
Ah.
Might take a while.
Mm.
A wee bit later on, Cooley quite, I don't know what the right word for this is, but he tells one of his men, probably Monroe, to call the sheriff and tell him to bring the coroner.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't Monroe, because Monroe comes over now with Jake's wallet that he's found on the body.
Yeah, it contains thousands of dollars. So that obviously means that this wasn't, the motive wasn't robbery.
Yes. Cooley tells him to put it back and let the sheriff find it.
Also, now Al is there, and he's confused because Jake was meant to commit 4 more robberies according to the timeline.
Yes, so Sam reflects that he's going to have a hard time doing that now. So obviously they've changed history. And Sam's responsible for Jake's death.
Another one on the,
He's added
on
to
the list, yeah. However, Sam is more worried about this impending death match. I'm not sure why. He's already knocked him out with a karate kick. He knows what Sam's like. He can handle
He doesn't
himself.
want to kill him, though.
Not true, but if it's him or me.
But he's here to save that guy. That's his mission.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cooley observes Sam talking to Al here, and obviously must think he's crazy.
Indeed, yeah. I think but that type of work and that heat would make people go mad.
This happens a few times in episodes where you get a deliberate shot of someone seeing Sam, and then they don't say anything about it, and it never comes up.
That's what I'm saying. In this situation, I reckon talking to yourself would be not unusual.
Al comes to talk to Sam, or continues to talk to Sam, and makes a joke because it's obviously a good time for some humour when you're about to fight to the death, saying that the motive for Jake's murder implies an ex-wife.
Yes. Yeah, because I think Sam points out that the murders would have been committed by, or most murders are committed by someone who knows the victim.
Fortunately, with a bit of Columbo magic, Sam has solved the crime.
Yeah, he says it'd be a criminal partner who's afraid of being exposed. There we go, done.
And definitely Cooley.
Yes. Al follows this logic and realises that the accusation made against him would have made a partner uncomfortable, and they both agree that Cooley is the most likely suspect, but Sam thinks they'll have to escape to nail him. Or
No, they won't be able to nail him.
Right,
So they'll have to escape because even if they have certainty that he did it, they can't get anyone to go along with it.
So later, they stop at a swamp where they are now waist deep for the fight to take place and are chained arm to arm.
Yeah, and as Cooley goes through the rules of the engagement, Al starts to talk to Sam about causing a distraction.
Yeah, what are the rules?
Well, I couldn't hear because Al was talking over the top of them.
Oh, well, okay, he said that no one can help you and someone's got to die.
Yeah, but there was one in between.
Was there?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, Sam at this point accuses Cooley of killing Jake and is told that he won't live to regret saying that.
The fight starts, and as they wrestle each other, Sam tells him that they have to escape as Cooley won't let him live even if he kills Sam.
Yes, he says to Boone that he has to trust Sam. Why would he? He tried to kill you with a club earlier on. He got you chucked in the pit after that. He then gave you some duff information about what was going on that led to you being punished again. He's done nothing but harm you.
If I was Boone, I would take my chances in killing Sam.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sam picks up a snake.
I think it's a sea snake or something that's sitting in the water, isn't it?
Yeah. And he launches it at the crowd watching, including the guards, causing them all to sort of rush back, which provides enough time, apparently.
Well, what it causes is the convicts to rush back, which means the other men have to go and round them up because they're not allowed to escape, obviously. And by the time Cooley turns back around, both Sam and Boone are gone.
So they've evaded, apparently, capture for a number of hours because it's now night time. And they eventually circle their way back to the trucks, where Sam gets some gasoline and blows one of them up.
I don't know why he blows one up. That's just going to draw attention to them.
Yeah, because all it does is run back into the woods. Yeah. But why did they just keep circling where they were?
Yeah.
Because they went to the woods in the first place.
Exactly. Anyway, the convicts all start laughing as Cooley calls for Monroe and put water on this truck, but they don't care. Yeah. They're having a great time.
Anyway, the two of them are followed by guards and dogs. But again, Al is able to distract the animals. And it looks like they have lost him when they arrive back at the bridge.
However, it seems that they've gone round in a circle and Cooley was there all along.
Yeah.
He tells them that he's just going to shoot them and tell folk that they were trying to escape, and he might even get a commendation for it, which is probably true.
Yeah, very sensible. That's what I would do if I was Cooley. But Al, again, distracts his dog, which he's holding on a leash, which pulls him over the bridge and he dies when he smashes his head.
That's convenient.
Very. So now Boone and Sam are both wanted for the murder of an official.
You're not going to be able to prove that wasn't you.
Exactly. Oh, you would assume that it was you.
Yeah.
For sure.
And also that's two people that have died that didn't die in the original history that Sam's responsible for.
He loves it. He's getting a bloodlust now.
Yeah. Well, they were bad people.
It Sam's like, it's not really me doing it, so I can act out all these fantasies of murder. Anyway, so
Sam and Boone use Cooley's keys to unlock their chains, which will then be left next to his dead body, giving away that they did it.
Yes.
And they head for the state line.
And eventually they come to the end of this 20-mile journey.
Sam, this is it right here. The Louisiana state line right at the top of the hill. Siggy says all Boone has to do is get out of the state and he's home free.
This is it. Louisiana's on the other side of that hill. We made it.
Which way you headed?
I don't know.
Me neither. Thanks.
Anytime. Get going. Go on. You take care. What's gonna happen to him, Al?
Well, he disappears into the fabric of society. But in 3 years, a man fitting his description is spotted in Washington State working for the Forestry Service.
In the mountains with the big trees, yeah?
And you disappear too. I mean, Cole disappears too. In fact, after a couple of years, they give up looking for either one of you. And, you'll be interested in this. Work prison number 11 is shut down 3 months after you guys escape.
Hey! Hey! Tell Al goodbye for me.
He can hear you.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Bye, Sam.
So Sam, before we deal with that, let's talk about what happens at the end. He leaps into a comfortable bed and starts thinking about how great it is to finally get a nice comfy leap, but there's something that's going to shatter his comfort levels.
Yes, an older woman snuggles up behind Tiger and wants to continue the fun from the night before they're interrupted by her adult son wondering what his father would say.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Right, the end of this week's episode was unsatisfying and unbelievable.
It was ridiculous. They've not done anything to cause that prison to be shut down.
No. If anything, they would encourage it to be expanded and tightened up. So these are prisoners who have escaped after murdering
The warden.
So what? Yeah, they've not exposed abuses. That should have been part of why he was there, to expose this inhumane treatment of prisoners. But no, they haven't. And also, what, they give up looking after a while? Who cares? And also, Boone, a guy fitting his description was found. What, a black guy? Oh yeah. I mean, what are you talking about?
Al's got ridiculous amounts of very specific information this week that he doesn't have any other week.
Yeah.
And then why does Sam not cross the state line?
Well, he needs to. Go? Yeah. They would continue their journey together.
Why would they stop looking for a guy that murdered a warden?
They wouldn't. It's nonsense.
I don't understand what we're meant to imply from this.
There was nothing. Okay, it would have been closed down if they'd found it was entirely corrupt and what Cooley was up to and what Elias was up to, but that was never.
That's what they need to do. They need to expose Cooley and what was going on, and maybe even have Elias realise it and be the one that shuts it down.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what happened. And also, did you think when they shook hands at the bottom of the hill that was a bit premature? I was worried that something was going to happen. He's going to get to the top of the hill and someone's just going to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, you see the shadow. Yeah. Up until that point, it was, like I say, it was good.
I mean, it was a good
fun.
episode. I just thought it was an unsatisfactory thing. And they didn't do as much with the episodes I thought they maybe could have.
Yeah, felt slightly rushed.
Good to see Sam losing patience with the system, though.
Yeah, but Sam giving that line, I hated that line. Well, you shouldn't have committed the crime then if you're moaning about
first instinct every time. It's like, oh well.
The law must be right. You must deserve to be here. Whatever happens to you, you've only got yourself to blame.
I may have leaped in here to change history, but you were definitely wrong in what you did.
There we go.
Yeah. We've talked about other questions about the resolution and about whether Elias was in it. I don't think he was in it.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts before we move on?
No, let's move on.
Okay, so it originally aired on the 27th of November 1991. Directed by Michael W. Watkins. You'll remember him. This is the 4th of his 6 episodes. And if you want to hear more about him, check out the podcast for A Little Miracle. The teleplay was written by Paris Quales, the first of 2. He also wrote for shows like Law and Order, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. And he was nominated for an Emmy for his script for the Tuskegee Airmen in 1995. He's now 72. His last screen credit was in 2017. Jasper Boone was played by Basil Wallace.
Now, Basil Wallace, that was Screwface.
Okay, this was his only quantum leap. He's also been in Star Trek The Next Generation, Blood Diamond, The West Wing, ER. What have you seen him in?
Marked for Death with Steven Seagal, Screwface. He was a bad guy in that.
He's now 73, still acting. Cooley, played by J.C. Quinn. This was his only quantum leap.
He was very believable in that role.
Yes, he was. He's also been in Dawson's Creek, Knots Landing, Cheers, Turner and Hooch. Died in 2004 when he was 63 in a car crash in Mexico.
Oh, unfortunate.
Elias was played by Claude Earl Jones.
Not James Earl Jones.
His brother Claude. Anyway, this was his only quantum leap. He also appeared in Dallas, Seinfeld, T.J. Hooker, Battlestar Galactica. Died in 2019 when he was 86. Jake Wiles was played by Don Sparks. This was his only quantum leap again. He's had a distinguished stage career. He was in the original cast for Escape to Margaritaville. He's a published songwriter. Also appeared in things like Mr. Robot, The Good Wife, Frasier, Matlock. He's now 72. His last screen credit was in 2016. The old convict at the start that was checking the mirrors to see if they could jump off the truck. He was played by Robert V. Barron. This was his only quantum leap. He's appeared in things like Night Court, LA Law, and you might remember him as Abraham Lincoln from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and also other things. He's played Lincoln more than once.
Yes. So that's 2 Bill and Ted's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was... he died in 2000 when he was 67. Monroe, one of the men on Cooley's staff, he was played by Jed Mills. He's quite interesting.
Why?
Well, this was his only quantum leap. He's also been in Twin Peaks, T.J. Hooker, Casino, Seinfeld, and he wrote and produced a one-man autobiographical show called Choices, and he's taught improvisation techniques for over 40 years. He's now 83. His last screen credit was in 2017, but he's got a website and stuff for all these things. So if you've got a chance to see Choices in your local theatre, go along to that. Basil Wallace, who we talked about there, played Boone. He was also in an episode of a show called China Beach with a lead character called Sam Beckett. Vaguely interesting. Only episode of the entire series, including one still to come where there's no women.
Yes, okay.
Except obviously at the end of the leap.
Yeah.
The Emily Dickinson poem that Cooley quoted to Sam is quite short. The full poem.
No.
It's only 2 verses. It goes, "For each ecstatic instant we must in anguish pay in keen and quivering ratio to the ecstasy. For each beloved hour, sharp pittances of years, bitter contested farthings, and coffers heaped with tears." So it's the same sort of idea that you get your fun, but you have to pay for it with pain.
appropriate.
Did we learn anything about Sam or Al?
Not anything new. I think some of our thoughts have been re-emphasised.
Indeed. On this date, 2nd of November 1956, Israel occupied the Gaza Strip as the Suez Crisis continued, but I'm sure that was peacefully resolved pretty quickly.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Number ones. In the US, we had Love Me Tender by Elvis. And in the UK, it was A Man in Love by Frankie Lane. And the only other thing I have was that on the 3rd, which would be the day after, which would still be within this leap,
Yep.
The Wizard of Oz was the first major Hollywood film that ran more than 90 minutes to be televised in one showing in the States. It was the first major movie on TV.
Feature length.
Yeah.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Next week, we have The Play's The Thing, where Sam has to help a performer regain her confidence. We will see you in 1969.
Until then,
Cheerio.
bye-bye.